Following several high-profile suicide cases, the South African depression and anxiety group SADAG says its call volume has almost doubled. From an average of 300 calls per day, counsellors now field about 600 depression and suicide-related phone calls. But SADAG's lack of funding is crippling this critical service.
A spike in calls. More people willing and keen to seek help openly. Triggered in part by the high-profile suicide of top cardiologist Professor Bongani Mayosi in July.
In the last month, since the Prof. Mayosi's suicide from Cape Town, we saw a massive reaction or trigger in the SA population, with so many people reaching out for help, calling us, SMSing us.
According to SADAG, 1 in 3 South Africans will suffer mental illness in their lives. 460 people attempt suicide every 24 hours. 23 of those succeed. The stress of high-paced lifestyles and urban pressures are more prevalent in the cities and townships. What is concerning, though, depression remains one of the most neglected forms of illness, and a lack of funding is threatening to cripple the work already being done.
We run the service from 8 o'clock in the morning till 8 o'clock at night. We would love for it to be 24 hours. We just don't have the funds for it to go fully 24 hours. The suicide line is the sole responsibility of SADAG. We get no funding for it. The Department of Health doesn't fund us. They haven't funded us for many, many, many years.
For NGOs like SADAG, they simply can't afford to rely on the meagre funding from government.
As an NGO, this is one of our difficulties, is consistently looking for funding. Mental health is not on the top of many people's CSI list or top of priority. They often think that mental illness is someone else's problem, it's not a real illness. And these are all the things that we're saying. Mental health is a real problem in South Africa.
Government funding cuts to NGOs across the country puts even more pressure on an already marginalized sector. Efforts to get comment on camera from the Departments of Health and Social Development were fruitless. Nozintombi Mia, SABC News, Johannesburg.